Hey everybody, so I have a question for you. What kind of value would you assign a card in a PSA 10 slab versus one that is just raw? So this is an issue right now that is front of mind just because I'm putting a deal together based on just that very calculus. And what is happening is that I will be trading my raw version of a high-end Barry Bonds card for a PSA 10 version of the same card. And in order to balance the deal, I will be sending a significant amount of cash to make sure that both sides are getting what they want. And when I took a step back from the deal, I just thought there were two very different ways of looking at it. And I wanted to ask you what way you would look at it. I suspect that most 90s insert collectors would lean toward the first way of looking at it, although I can't be sure. That's why I'm going to ask you. So the first way of looking at it is that I'd be paying a significant amount of money basically to have the same card in a PSA 10 slab. And on the one hand, that looks ridiculous to really pay that much money, double the price of a card, in order just to have the card in a slab that says a 10 on it. And I think a lot of people would look at it that way. And I looked at it that way when I thought about the deal. But then I also thought about the fact that I get a lot of satisfaction from a card that is in a PSA 10 slab, a card that has been adjudged by somebody who's a supposed expert as being very, very mint. A 10 should suggest that the card is at a minimum mint, which is very, very important to me. And so for me, on the other side of this deal, I thought it would be worth it just because there aren't that many copies of this card that could achieve a 10 in anyone's eyes. This is a card that is one of the favorite cards of the 90s community. It's a rare card, it's unnumbered, and it's die cut, so it's highly condition sensitive. And I just really wanted to upgrade my card, and it's only fair, I think, if you're going to upgrade a card, to pay the difference. And I think that just the key is what is the difference? And that's hard to know. That's different in everybody's eyes. And I think that the person who would be trading his card to me values that slab less than I do. And I think that's why we're able to reach a deal. But again, it wasn't as if I got a price break on it, because I paid more than double for this card that I did for the raw one that I'm sending over to my counterpart. So I just wanted to know what you guys thought. I know that a lot of 90s collectors believe that a slab offers negative value to a card. People I know would actually crack a card out of a PSA 10 slab even, knowing that if they ever had to resell the card, the chances of reselling it for a higher amount would greatly increase if that card remained in a PSA 10 slab. And even then, people would, in some cases, crack that card out just so that they can put it behind another plastic pane. I've always found that to be a little bit strange, personally, that that you would crack a card out of one plastic case only to put it in another plastic case. It would be one thing if you put it in a binder, or if you just put it raw on your desk so that you could touch it directly and look at it directly. But to crack it out of one plastic case only to put it in another plastic case, to me, seems like a lot of work to get rid of the value that is assigned to a card like that. Just seems self-defeating. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. For me, I made the calculation that the card is very difficult to get a PSA 10 on. In fact, I believe there have been only 12 some odd submissions of the card to PSA over the years, and 6 of them achieved a 10, which is a higher ratio than I would have expected given the fact that this is a die cut card and is very condition sensitive. But you know, I'm happy with the deal. I think that it was a good deal for me. It is a card that I've long wanted to get graded and to make sure that it would be protected in a slab. Just never got around to it. And of course, I talked to a friend of mine who grades often, unlike myself, who told me that there's no chance that that card gets a mint grade. Which was a total surprise to me, because to my untrained and layperson eye, it looked like a perfectly respectable card with no obvious flaws. and I guess I was wrong about that. So I told that to my counterpart, and he said he's fine with it, and the money that I would be sending to bridge the gap is worth it to him. And so we're going to do this deal, and I can't wait to show you guys this card. It's one of my favorites in the hobby. It's one of my favorites in any genre, and so I'm looking forward to getting it in hand, finally showing it off. But in the meantime, the issue of the difference, the multiplier between a PSA 10 version of a card and the raw version of a card is interesting to me. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you again soon.